Hello, can you guys hear my voice?
Yes, I hear.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So before we get start today's class, I want to make announce. Okay. So this series of Lua tutorial, I want to teach you guys to how to get start this Lua script. Okay, not only on the PI Studio or WeNet. So if, for example, if in the future, if there is some other place you need to program Lua, this tutorial is still fixed. It's still fit you guys to learning. Okay. So maybe all my demonstration is on PI Studio, but this is basic knowledge and basic concept are available for all the Lua program. So my plan is the first stage is going to hold four times training for this basic concept. Okay, so after every class I will assign to you guys the homework. Okay, so I hope all of you will know how to understanding and thinking and practicing the Lua code. So maybe you will know after that you will know how to make the basic program of the Lua script. Okay, so let's get started today's class, and let me share my screen. Can you see my screen? I show my project editor interface. So just like what I said, this is the Lua basic. So when learning this basic tutorial, please make sure watching, practicing, and debugging. So chapter number 0 is the pre-note of the program. So first is you need to search. Okay, none of the virtual or experienced programmer can handle all the Lua code without searching the data from the internet. So for example, I want to know the Lua street. For example, I directly go to the Google. Okay, so for example, I want to understand how to splice the street. So I go to here. So you will find there are a lot of the data on the internet. So you can search from Google. So this is the code you can copy from the internet. So you will able to achieve your function. Okay. So this is the first step to search the function you want to achieve. You want to realize. So back to so first is search, and the second is the practice. Okay, so code is accomplished by typing. So type more, debug more, so you will be able to know how to program it. And the debug is using the debug window. We have debug window to debug those code. debug function one by one and debug lines one by one. And functions. So if all the you have some function, so you can realize something like MQTT, HTTP. So you can put that into a independent Lua file. So we can directly to call them. So this is the function, and the model is put just like what I said, the relevant function together into one single Lua file, and generate interface for calling duplicate use. And the syncing is program is physical and mental work. Okay. So chapter number 1. Okay. So first we need to enable this debugging window of the Lua on simulator. So first go to this project. Okay. Here project setting and extend. On this lab we have this enable Lua debugging option, okay, which can let us to debug the code. So for example, now I open this right, so I compile. And turn on the simulator. So we will see this is black window is for debug the Lua code. Okay. So魏总那边不是有那个吗？魏总有的。对啊。魏总有一份那个之前。So the second is to enable the debug the message pop up window. Okay, this is the on the debug on the actual HMI, and the third is the Lua object, and this is can let us to write the Lua script. So on this custom object, okay, this Lua button. So for example, I drag into the screen, and for example, I can program or print out. Okay, so for example, hello world. This is the most basic the code. Okay. So I compile again and offline simulator. So when I press it, you will see the hello world print out on this debug window. Okay, so this is the debug function to let us to know how it runs on the HMI on the simulator. So next chapter is about the basic syntax. Okay, listen. The first one is print out and output the information into the debug window. Okay, so just like I just demonstration on this screen. Okay, to print this hello world, or I can here is the I define a variable and print this. My name is Jack. Okay. So I paste to this object and compile it. So I click on this button, so it will show my name is Jack. Okay. So this is the printout. This is the most basic of the code to let us to know how you run the code. And the second is the comment. So if one line I add a head with these two minus sign, so this is the single line comment. Okay. So if I comment on this print, okay, so I click this OK again. So I press it again, so you will see it didn't print out the result, okay, because I comment the code. So there are another multi-line comment. Okay, so this is the multi-line comment. Okay, so every chapter I write on here, or they are quote by this multi-line comments. Okay. So next is the keywords. So keywords is are those words are already being used by Lua system. So these words cannot be used as constant or variable or another user-defined identifier. So these are following shows. Okay, and break, do, else. So most you use is something like and, do, else. So I can show you on the So this is all the keywords. Okay. So cannot use as the variable or the constant. So if we made it, I will tell this is how in meaning. So next one is the global variable. Okay. So all the variables are global by default. So it didn't don't need to be declared. So assign a value to a variable represent that this variable is created. So like in this example, so if I directly print this variable b, it can be print out. Okay, it will not report as error. Okay, so let me show you. So you can see the result is new. Okay, it is empty value. So if I assign the value 10 to this b and I print out again, so we will see it print out 10. Okay. So access uninitialize the global variable, it doesn't report any error. So this is the global variable. Global means it can be called everywhere. Okay. For example, I define a b on this raw file, right? I also can be called on here or another place. This is the global means. So next chapter is about data type. So Lua is a dynamically typed language. Okay. So if you defined a variable, you didn't need to define the type. So we just use this local. We just use the local to define the variable. So it doesn't no need to define this data type, only to assign the value. Okay. So Lua has 8 basic type: new, boolean, number, string, and user data and function, and thread and table. So new is the most simple one. Only new is belong to this type. Okay, represent as invalid or empty value. So this is the new mean. So sometimes we will, for example, we didn't make the communication successfully. Okay, so then at that time we to read those PLC address, it will report as the new value. Okay. So it is invalid. And the next boolean is only 2 values, true or false. And if you print out, it will be 1 and 0. And the next one, number represent real numbers, so it is floating point. Okay, so Lua does not have the integer. Okay, And string is delimited literary strings by matching this single or double quote. So for example, just like the hello world, I print out this hello world, I limited by double quote. Okay, so it is string type. This is string type. So next one is the function. Function is can call the loss function right in Lua and right in C. So we usually, if we have some function, so we can write ahead. So for example, this function, you will be auto free this end keyword. Okay. And the table is the associative array. So those if I define a table, we just use this one to quote. Okay. So for example, I defined a table. So I just write as like this. So it just means I create this table. Okay. Empty table. Sorry. And the last two is the most rare used type, so we can ignore it because on the daily Lua program we didn't use these two types. So third is how to know this data type is to using this type function. Okay. So for example, I type print this hello world. So let me. So you can see the hello world is string type, right? So like this, for example, the type I copy paste to this. So I pressed on this button, so we will see all the type with printout on this window. Okay, so just like this, the show. This is the right write result. So first one is then this 3, and this is number, and print is the function, right? So we type its type is function. Also this type is also in the function. So so if I assigned assign this type to name, so we will see it will be a cheek. How to say that? So you will see this printout result. It is still the string, okay? Because I assign this type to the name. So I'm going to show you. So see, this result is the same. So I also can rename the print function. Okay. So for example, I renamed the print as output. So I can also output. Okay. So this result will be sent to this one, okay. So for example, I can combine these two scripts together. For example, let me close it. So this will be the output result. Printout result will be the function, right? Can you understand this code? So let me compile this. So I press on this button, so you can see the result is the function. Okay, so just exactly same to this one. So this is how to note the data type. Okay, we use this type function to recognize. Okay. So so far, any question? No. Next chapter is about available. Okay. the global we have two type variable. One is the global variable and another one is local. So just like this one, I didn't use the local, right? This one is the global variable. Okay, I already mentioned it on this chapter. So another one is the local variable. Local variable means it just able to call on the present file or present function. Okay, so if I define on the head of the if I local on this head of the Lua file, so it means it is file local variable. Okay, and if I so if I use for example, I define an add function. Okay, so I local on here. This one means the function local variable. Okay, so this range is different. On this function, I can also be call this one. Okay, file local variable, and this one is function local. So on function I can call this variable. Okay, sorry. For example, I assign this value. Okay, so I print out this. It is okay. And but if I want to on outside, but I want to on outside to print this value 1. This is no okay. Okay, so this is the difference. This is all the content of today's class. Have you guys has any question? Yes, you will have this program later. I will share on the WeChat group or any other question of today's meeting? No? share on this chat. I can download straight. Let me try. I share on the chat. Okay. So any other question for today's meeting? Yes, I already record the video. I will upload this video on our YouTube channel. Okay. So if you don't have other question, I will assign the homework. Okay. So try to use the PI project to accomplish these two questions. Okay. First is to find out maximum value and minimum value of the table, and then the second one is to use the 10 and 5 to make calculation. So I also this Google form or send me on this support email box. Okay. If you don't understand how to accomplish them, you can just Google them. Okay, to Google the result. This is it's the mostly easy the code on the Lua. Okay. Thanks for you attending this today's class. Okay. See you next time. Bye bye.